Spider-Man drifted through the silent void, clinging to a wrecked escape pod. Inside it, he found a small child, breathing, glowing, impossibly alive. The moment Spidey touched the pod, the child opened its eyes and whispered, "Father." Peter froze. This kid wasn't human, but it somehow knew him. Strange cosmic symbols were burned into the pod, and into the child's skin. The ship's logs showed Spider-Man's face, labeled as genetic source. And a warning: protect the air. Universal threat incoming. Suddenly the stars around them moved, because something enormous was coming to take the child back. Space wasn't supposed to feel quiet. Spider-Man always imagined it buzzing with lasers, alien ships, dramatic explosions. Instead, all he heard was the slow, shaky sound of his own breathing inside a cracked helmet as he drifted through endless darkness. A cosmic tear had swallowed him during the Avengers mission, sucking him straight into a debris field floating like a broken graveyard of ships. His suit was damaged, oxygen thinning, and his head pounding hard enough to make every heartbeat feel like a countdown. He grabbed a floating satellite chunk with a web line, pulling himself toward a rotating shadow that looked different from the rest. Not scrap metal. Not a dead ship. Something smoother. Something alive with faint blue light. A pod. Spider-Man kicked off debris and latched onto it with both hands, boots clamping to the hull. The pod was cracked, hissing air, flickering with dying energy. Strange symbols were etched across its surface, nothing human, nothing familiar. He wiped frost from the glass and froze. There was a child inside. Not a human child. Smaller, silver-skinned, glowing faintly blue like starlight trapped in veins. Its chest rose with slow, gentle breaths. Peter's heart slammed into his ribs. Okay, little alien baby, don't die. Please don't die. I am way too far from Earth for cosmic babysitting right now. The pod jolted suddenly, spinning. Spider-Man slammed his hand onto the manual hatch lock and tore it open with a grunt. Cold air blasted out. He pushed inside, bracing himself, grabbing the baby before it could float away. The child was warm. Too warm. Like holding a tiny star. The moment Peter touched it, the glow around the child brightened. Its eyes opened, bright white, swirling like nebulae. Peter held his breath. The kid stared straight at him and whispered a single word in a trembling voice. "Father." Spider-Man froze so hard his muscles locked. And no, baby dude, I think you got the wrong guy. I can barely keep my taxes alive. But the child reached a small hand toward his face, touching his mask with glowing fingers. A sudden beam of holographic light projected from the pod, scanning Peter's face. A voice, alien, mechanical, monotone, spoke through static. Primary genetic source confirmed. Peter's blood went cold. Genetic what? How? I didn't. Who? What? How? The pod displayed images, DNA strands overlaying Spider-Man's face, matching perfectly. Peter felt the universe tilt. Someone used his genetic code to create this child. Someone out here, far beyond Earth, far beyond anything he ever understood. The child curled against his chest, exhausted. The glow dimmed. Instinct took over. Peter sealed the pod again, webbed cracks closed, stabilized the oxygen line with his own suit, and clutched the baby close as he drifted through the debris field. Only one thing was certain. He wasn't alone anymore. And whoever made this child was probably coming back for it. Spider-Man held the glowing child close as he drifted through the debris field, the pod's faint alarm flickering red across the cracked metal. Oxygen readouts dipped dangerously low. His suit was barely holding together, patched with webbing and hope. The baby's tiny hand clung weakly to his suit, pulsing with soft cosmic light that warmed his chest even through the fabric. Peter didn't know why, but being near the child made his panic settle. Maybe because, for once, someone else needed him more than he needed saving. He spotted a larger wreck drifting nearby, part of a destroyed spacecraft with intact panels that might hold some power. He webbed himself and the baby across the gap, landing on the crumpled hull. He pried open a maintenance hatch, forcing his way inside a dim corridor filled with floating debris and torn wiring. The moment he entered, the baby's glow brightened, illuminating the dark tunnel like a living flashlight. "Thanks, little guy," Peter whispered. "Or girl. Or, cosmic star being. We'll figure it out." He floated deeper inside until his boots magnetized onto a stable floor. The ship hummed faintly, some systems still alive. He used emergency power to activate a life support alcove, stabilizing the atmosphere enough to breathe normally. He set the baby down on a padded crate and pulled his cracked mask off, gasping a breath of actual air. Then the pod behind him activated. A holographic projection filled the corridor, recordings, documents, fragments of a research log written in an alien language. But the images were clear. Scientists in shimmering suits. Containers holding cosmic energy. And in the center of the lab, him. A hologram of Spider-Man, recorded from dozens of angles. Peter stared, blood turning cold. No way. No. Nope. Nope, shut it down, delete it, burn it. The next screen showed a DNA strand. His DNA. Being fused with cosmic energy. Then it showed the child being formed, not born, grown inside a containment sphere, surrounded by starlight and artificial gravity. The logs labeled the project. The Star Air Hybrid Guardian Prototype. Peter's voice cracked. Guardian of what? The hologram answered without him touching it. Protective vessel. Designed from the genetic core of Earth's chosen protector, Spider-Man. Peter stumbled backward. Chosen protector? Me? There are, like, 100 people more qualified. I lose my keys twice a week. The baby floated off the crate, glowing stronger, drifting toward him like it sensed his fear. It touched his cheek, soft, warm, trusting. The glow around it responded to Peter's heartbeat, syncing with it. The pod scanned the interaction and displayed something new. Emotional link, stabilized. Primary caretaker, Spider-Man. Survival compatibility, perfect match. Peter swallowed hard. You're bonded to me, because someone made you that way. He felt anger. Fear. Responsibility. All crashing into him at once. Then the entire ship shook violently. A deep vibration rolled through the metal. Peter grabbed the baby. Okay, nope, I've seen movies, this means something big is close. The scanners flickered and projected a massive shadow outside, growing larger, swallowing stars behind it. The baby trembled in his arms, whispering a single word in a tiny, fearful voice. Father. Peter looked out the cracked window, and felt his danger sense explode like fireworks. Whatever created this child wasn't the only thing out here. Something was coming to take it back. The shadow outside the shattered window grew fast, too fast. Spider-Man's danger sense wasn't just buzzing, it was screaming like a fire alarm trapped inside his skull. He clutched the child tighter as the derelict spacecraft groaned under the pressure of something massive dragging it into its gravity field. The baby's glow dimmed, flickering like a dying candle. Peter held it closer. Hey, stay with me, little star sprout. We're gonna get out of this. I think. I hope. I really hope. The ship slammed sideways. Sparks burst from the ceiling. Panels ripped free, floating past them as gravity fluctuated wildly. Spider-Man webbed himself to a support beam and wrapped one arm around the baby. Through the flickering window, he finally saw the thing pulling them in. A colossal shape, shaped like a skeletal serpent made of cosmic smoke and fractured light. Its mouth glowed with swirling galaxies. Its eyes, two collapsing stars, locked directly onto him. The ship's scanner translated its name in jagged symbols. The Star Devourer. Peter choked on his breath. I take it back. I want darkness. Turn off the lights. Shut the curtains. I'm not ready for this. The Devourer opened its jaws, pulling the entire ship toward it like a magnet sucking in worlds. Peter ripped through the hallway, webbing wildly, trying to stabilize anything that could become a shield. But the metal broke apart like paper. The baby suddenly let out a soft cry, its light surging in sudden bursts. The energy didn't scare Peter, it scared the Devourer. The creature's roar shook the entire debris field, pushing asteroids aside like dust. The child clutched Spider-Man's chest and trembled. Peter held the baby gently. It's after you, isn't it? Not the ship. Not me. The pod's hologram sputtered to life again, projecting a final message. The air alone can destroy the Star Devourer. But only with its guardian. Spider-Man's voice cracked. Guardian? No, that's wrong. I'm not, look, I can barely take care of myself. The child reached up, placing a tiny glowing hand on Peter's mask. The warmth spread through him like a heartbeat synchronized to his own. His panic quieted. His breathing steadied. The baby whispered again, voice trembling. Father, protect. Peter nearly broke. He touched the child's hand gently. I will. I promise. The Devourer screeched outside, ripping the ship apart with invisible gravitational claws. Panels flew. Steel bent. The hallway collapsed behind them. Peter sprinted through the shifting carnage, ducking flying debris, webbing the baby close to him like a shield. A burst of cosmic fire blasted through the hull, blinding him. He dove behind a fallen bulkhead just in time. The Devourer's head broke through the ship's outer layer, its star-filled eyes scanning for them. Peter whispered, "You big cosmic nightmare, stay away from my kid." The baby glowed brighter, energy swirling around them in spirals like tiny galaxies forming in seconds. Peter felt the thread of connection strengthen, like the baby's power needed him as a conduit. The Devourer lunged. Peter jumped toward a shattered window, clinging to the outer hull with one hand and the baby in the other. The entire structure crumbled beneath him. The void yawned open. He pushed off the last piece of metal, webbed onto a drifting asteroid, swung through space like a maniac refusing to die. The Devourer roared. And Spider-Man held the child tight against his chest, whispering through gritted teeth. "You picked the wrong father to mess with." Spider-Man clung to the drifting asteroid as it spun through the cosmic battlefield, the Star Devourer tearing reality apart behind him. Every time the creature roared, the stars flickered like they were afraid. The baby's glow dimmed again, heartbeat slowing in Spider-Man's hands. Peter tightened his grip, terrified the child was fading because of him, or because the monster was getting closer. The asteroid cracked under their weight. Spider-Man launched off it, firing glowing webs into the vacuum as the baby instinctively infused threads of cosmic light into them. His webs shimmered across space like glowing veins, letting him swing between floating debris fields as though gravity existed wherever he needed it. The Devourer surged after them, its colossal body stretching across the void like a living night sky. Its jaws opened, pulling in planets, debris, dying stars, everything collapsing toward its throat. Spider-Man dodged a swirling vortex of gravity that nearly crushed his ribs. "Hey! Cosmic Snorlax! Pick on someone your own, galaxy," he yelled, because jokes were the only thing keeping him from screaming. The baby stirred weakly in his arms. "Father! Awaken!" Peter blinked. "Awaken? Buddy, I'm trying not to get eaten by something that looks like a black hole with teeth. I don't have time for awakening." But the baby floated slightly from his chest, glowing stronger, small hands extending. A rainbow of cosmic energy spiraled from its palms, creating a protective dome that flickered like a shield made of starlight. The Devourer smashed against it, the impact shook Peter's bones, but the shield held. Barely. The creature recoiled, snarling in a language that felt like reality cracking. Peter aimed for a shattered piece of a derelict station nearby. He swung inside the open structure, dropping onto a metal bridge that groaned under his weight. The shield dissolved as soon as they landed, the baby's glow sputtering in exhaustion. Peter knelt beside it. Hey, stay with me. You hear me? The baby's eyes opened faintly. Devourer, seeks, my core. Peter's fists clenched so tight his palms burned. Yeah? Well, it'll have to crawl through me first. Before he could catch a breath, the devourer smashed through the far wall, ripping the space station open like a tin can. Metal screamed. Air rushed out. Gravity died. Peter and the baby floated upward, until the monster's gravitational pull started dragging them straight toward its jaws. Spider-Man fought back with everything he had, firing webs into collapsing beams, pulling himself sideways, ricocheting between debris. Each swing drained his strength, and each pull from the devourer dragged him closer. Then the baby grabbed his mask. The touch felt like a star igniting. Cosmic energy surged from the child into Peter, blinding, burning, electrifying. His webs burst with new power, glowing brighter than the devourer's core. His suit lit up like a supernova crawling through the fabric. Peter screamed, not in pain, but in shock, as he yanked them free from the devourer's pull with a cosmic-charged swing that cracked the entire station in half. He landed atop a spinning metal shard, the baby glowing in his arms, both of them radiating with a strange shared energy. For the first time, the devourer hesitated. Spider-Man stared at the monster, chest heaving, cosmic power sparking off his fingertips. Round 2, he whispered. Let's see how you handle a powered-up single dad. Cosmic fire rippled through Spider-Man's veins as he stood on the spinning metal shard, the devourer looming like a living eclipse swallowing the universe behind it. The baby floated beside him now, glowing brighter than ever, its tiny hands leaving trails of starlight in the vacuum. Peter felt their connection like a second heartbeat inside his chest, pulsing with purpose, fear, and something that felt disturbingly like destiny. The monster roared, its voice a gravitational quake that rattled the space station fragments around them. Spider-Man braced himself, cosmic webs anchoring to whatever drifting debris he could find. The devourer lunged, maw opening wide enough to swallow moons. Peter leaped straight at it. He didn't think. He didn't plan. He reacted. He fired web after web, each glowing with star energy infused by the child. They slammed into the monster's face, exploding like miniature novas. The devourer staggered, but its cosmic skin simply reformed, swallowing the explosions like they were nothing but dust. Okay, Peter muttered, note to self, giant cosmic nightmare has no weak spots. Awesome. The baby floated closer, touching his arm again. The spark surged into him, hotter this time, sharper, almost overwhelming. Memories flooded Peter's mind, not his own, but glimpses of alien scientists speaking urgently about the Guardian, the air, the Devourer's hunger, and the prophecy that tied them all together. The Devourer fed on young stars. And the star heir was born from one. The only way to destroy the Devourer was using the heir's full power. But the child was too young. Too unstable. Unless the Guardian acted as the conduit. Peter's pulse hammered. You want me to channel it? That's insane. I'm already running on cosmic adrenaline and bad decisions. But the baby floated directly in front of him, pressing its forehead to his mask. Cosmic energy surged down his spine, crackling through his fingers. His webs glowed so bright they almost burned through his shooters. The Devourer lunged again. Spider-Man didn't run. He didn't dodge. He jumped straight into the monster's open mouth. The gravitational pull tore the metal shard behind him apart like paper. Peter felt reality warping around him, skeleton stars, dead light, swirling vortexes that threatened to crush him into atoms. He held the baby close. The child's glow exploded outward, forming a protective bubble that cracked but didn't break. The Devourer's throat spiraled endlessly ahead. Peter aimed his hand. Cosmic webs shot forward, blasting through layers of collapsing star flesh like spears of living light. The baby extended its arms, pouring raw star force into him until his body felt like it was made of molten suns. Together, they fired one massive burst. The explosion tore the Devourer from the inside out. Light erupted across the void like a supernova stretching for miles. The creature convulsed violently, its form fracturing into billions of shimmering particles that scattered into the infinite dark. Then it was gone. Silence. Floating embers of cosmic dust drifted around them like dying fireflies. The protective bubble faded. Peter's body felt heavy, exhausted, close to shutting down. But the baby grabbed his mask gently, whispering in a soft, tired voice. "Father, safe." Peter breathed out a shaking laugh. "Yeah, kid. Thanks to you." A portal shimmered nearby, rescue signals from the Avengers finally breaking through. Peter webbed onto the nearest piece of debris and swung toward it slowly, carrying the sleeping child against his chest. He wasn't just Spider-Man anymore. He wasn't just a hero. He was responsible for the universe's most powerful kid. And as the portal swallowed them both in warm white light, Peter whispered, "Whatever comes next, you won't face it alone." The child's tiny hand squeezed back. A new Spider-Man story had just begun.